Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. Chelsea top of the league with Liverpool and Manchester United. Goal difference separates the three. Interesting weekend, but Chelsea demolition job of pathetic Tottenham is what I would say about that second half. They're top of the league. They've got Manchester City to play next week. And I think what you saw today was the brilliance of Thomas Tuchel. You know, this is a manager that got mentioned in relation to Manchester United a year ago. And I was like, I'm not convinced. I think he's a good coach, but I'm not convinced. And to be honest, I am convinced. I think he's a very, very clever footballing coach. And I think the best thing he's done for his career as a manager is come to the Premier League, because I think when you do it in the Premier League, or you do it in La Liga, and to a certain extent Serie A, you become a great manager in the world, and he is becoming that. Taking over a very good squad that Lampard couldn't manage halfway through the season, taking them into the top four, which was looking a bit doubtful, winning the Champions League like he did was impressive. And then coming into the summer, not spending the amounts of money that Lampard previously had, but a couple of signings, and Lukaku looks like he's been playing with them for years. Again, you're seeing that rotation. The bravery at half-time to take Mason Mount off and bring Kante on. Was that the thing that changed the game? Well, it was 0-0 at half-time. It was 3-0. It could have been 6-0. It's just brilliant, brilliant coaching. And as a United fan, we've won today. I'm very, very happy. Very, very, very happy. Brilliant. Absolutely excited. But you know what? I'm watching that game in the second half and I'm thinking, you know what? We've still got so many levels to go up under Solskjaer at United, because this is what people like Klopp and Tuchel and Pep obviously are doing. And it was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And they're going to be a very, very hard team to stop. That Chelsea-Man City game next week for Man City is massive, because if they lose that and they go 6 points off Chelsea, at the moment Chelsea don't look like they're going to go and have those results like they did last year against the West Broms and things like that. I don't think they look like they're going to do it. They look very, very, very capable of going home and away again. I mean, they've been to Liverpool, they've got Man City at home. It's looking ominous in relation to Chelsea, and the people who predicted they were going to win the league, I went with Man City, and I still think Man City are still their favourites, but Chelsea I put as second, and they just look very, very, very solid, fluid and focused, and that's a very, very big combination. And of course, look, it's early days, things can fall away. They could get beat by Man City next week, and we'll be going, look, they're not quite there yet, but that's why it's such an exciting game. But look, Spurs first half against Chelsea, it looks like a really high tempo game for 20 minutes. It's sort of, they feel each other out last 20 minutes. Half time, you think, what's it going to be like? And it's just Chelsea. The goals were coming. It was, 15 minutes of that half had gone, and it felt like Spurs hadn't even been out of their half. There was no reaction from Nuno, and I'm not sure he could have reacted to it. It was overwhelming. The taking Mount off, it just allowed Kante, Kovacic and Jorginho to swamp them. Absolutely swamp them, and they just couldn't get out. And they dominated them. They had 4 or 5 other good chances. It could have been 5-6-0 in a half, considering it was 0-0 at half time. And reality bites for Tottenham. Fantastic start to the season with 9 points. It's now 2 losses in a row. They play Arsenal next week. If they lose that, Arsenal are level with Spurs, and suddenly that shows you where Spurs are. And obviously Arsenal are trying to get back from no wins out of 9. They could have 3 wins in a row. So it's a massive game between Spurs and Arsenal next Sunday, but it's not a big game. It's not one for the world to watch and think these are going to be title contenders. These are teams that probably are going to be fighting for 5th and 6th. So it's a reality bite for Spurs. They were competitive for 45 minutes, but Nuno just couldn't deal with Tuchel in the second half, and that's Spurs' problem. They can't deal with Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City and Liverpool. It doesn't feel like they can anyway. They're going to be fighting with Leicester and West Ham and Arsenal. That's what they're going to be doing. And also, I'm not convinced that Nuno's the right coach for Spurs. I said that when they got him, and they were lucky against Wolves. They were very lucky against Wolves. They weren't unlucky against Palace. They weren't unlucky today. And they got 9 points. I think that's probably a very good situation to be in after 5 games, because I think they could have ended up having 6. So Spurs have got to regroup. I feel that Nuno's just another Mourinho for them, but let's see how that builds out. And I don't think that sort of a coach suits Spurs. But in relation to Chelsea, as I said, very, 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 very comfortable win in the end. And they've had a start to a season that I looked at and went, I don't expect Chelsea to have a load of points after the first 7-8 games. I think that they'll have to, grab as many as they can and then fight over the 38-game season. But they're picking up the points. They are picking up the points, and they're playing difficult fixtures. So that game against Man City next week, if they can win that, you could almost put them down as favourites early on. But I just think Tuchel, I can't say enough. I think he's a fantastic coach. And I think the way that... the thing that stands out for me with Tuchel was that at the end of last season, did they not beat Man City in the semi-final of the FA Cup? They beat them in the league, and then they beat them in the Champions League. And I don't think there's a lot of difference between Chelsea and City. In fact, many people would say City are a better side with a better coach, But I don't think you can say that really now. But when those 3 games happened, I wanted Chelsea to win all 3 because I didn't want City to win the Champions League and I didn't want them to win the FA Cup. So I wanted Chelsea to win. It was, the lesser of 2 evils, really. But I was like, there's no way that Tuchel's going to beat Pep 3 games in a row because they are very, very close in quality, and it's like flipping a coin. You're not going to get tails 3 times in a row. You could do, but it's unlikely. And he did. He did it 3 times, and he deserved to do it 3 times. And that, to me, shows that this manager is tactically the best coach in the Premier League at the moment. Doesn't mean he's the best coach, but I think tactically how he sets his teams up against teams is very, very clever. And he can adjust in game. And I don't know what it's like at Liverpool. I don't know what it's like at Man City, Arsenal, etc. But I know what it's like at United. There is no way after that first half, because it wasn't a bad first half for Chelsea. It was a very high-tempo, open game. Chelsea still could have won that game if they'd played the first half like the second half. There is no way after a first half like that Ollie would go, right, I'm going to take off Pogba and I'm going to bring on Matic and I'm going to swamp that midfield. He wouldn't do it. Even if we were playing badly, he probably wouldn't do it. But Tuchel does it, even though Chelsea's first half wasn't terrible. He sees an opportunity to change it tactically, and then they go and annihilate them. It's just brilliant coaching. That's all it is. So Chelsea sit top of the league at the moment, joint with Liverpool on goal difference exactly, with Man United behind them on goal difference, not quite the same. 3 teams on 13 points, Man City on 10 points. Massive week next week, with Chelsea playing Man City, and then the following week Man City play Liverpool. So we've got 2 very big weeks in relation to the top 4, which is going to be very, very exciting. They need to sort out the refereeing in this league, though. I don't know whether anybody's seen the 2 penalties United should have got. I don't know whether you've seen the Kyle Walker incident yesterday. I think Leicester have had a few issues as well. We've had a very bad weekend. I don't know what your thoughts are on that in relation to the refereeing. But in relation to the title race, fantastic. And I think it's going to be like that. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I don't think Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City are going to drop many points at the weekends. I'd love to include United in that, but for me as a United fan, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But it's looking relentless and it's looking interesting. And I don't think a team's going to get away, but who knows what could happen. Very exciting. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe bottom right hand corner. I'll speak to you all soon.